I get this question a lot. How did you learn English? The short answer? Music. It's very simple. I don't know how many times I've said it, and almost every time I say I learned by singing English songs, people go,
Really? By singing?
Believe me, it works. It worked. We'll get into the details of the music method in a bit. But today, I want to share the longer answer. Because besides music, there are three other things that have massively helped my English skills.
There's more.
Guess what? One of them is teaching. I actually started teaching English before I could really speak it well. It sounds cheeky now that I think about it, but it just so happened. Not many of my friends know, but I tutored my neighbor's kid for a while. Maybe for about 6 months. He was in his third year of the local junior high school, the same school I had gone to. I was 20, and it was my first ever teaching experience. He had the same English teacher I had had, using the same textbook called New Horizon. Some of you may remember that title of the book.
Oh yeah, that was my textbook too.
Anyway, so I kind of knew what his next exam would be like. So we worked hard on those specific points. And his score jumped from around 20 to 70. Imagine his mother's joy. She came to my door the next day, the day after her son got his results, with a box of chocolate cake in her hands. I'm not joking. She had this big smile on her face and said, "You won't believe what my child got on his English exam. He's got 70." Like, I could see the number in all capital letters floating above her head. You know what I mean? Seriously, though, that tutoring made me realize how little I knew about the basic grammar. My junior high school level vocabulary was okay, I think, but the grammar, oh baby, how much I had to relearn from zero so I could teach this kid. I mean, you can't teach something you don't know, right? Well, you shouldn't anyway. I remember looking at sentences like, I play tennis, she plays tennis, and thinking, there's an S when the subject is she or he. Huh. Or, this question starts with do you, not are you. Because, this is a verb. I see.
That's like 7th grade stuff.
I'm not kidding. I mean, he was a good kid, and I really wanted to help him, so I worked hard. Honestly, I think I studied harder than he did, harder than I ever had before. It almost felt like I was getting away with something, getting paid to learn the very things I was supposed to be teaching. But hey, that's how it happened. Some people might say, wait, you were learning while teaching? Or,
You taught before you knew it?
exactly. And honestly, that's the secret I found at that time. Nothing makes you master a subject faster than the responsibility of explaining it to someone else. It was the ultimate learn by doing experience, and it forced me to build a foundation that I completely missed in my own school days. Children, if you are learning English at school right now, get the basics now, not later. Your future self will thank you. Anyway, back to the story. After that, I worked as a private tutor and much later taught at English conversation schools. I taught hundreds of students, from school kids to adults. Altogether, I taught for 15 years before I switched and started a small business. Imagine how much I learned over those years. So, if you ever have the chance, I really recommend teaching as a way to learn. It's one of the best ways, and it can be applied to lots of other things, I think. You can't teach what you don't know, right? Movies. So, teaching gave me the rules of English. But movies? Movies gave me the soul of the language. I learned about the culture and how people actually talk to each other from movies. I watched a lot, some of them again and again and again. Sometimes I say films and sometimes I say movies, but they're the same thing. I can't decide which one I like better. Film is a British way, and movie is an American way of saying it. Why? Ask them. Anyway, when I was younger, like maybe about 40 years ago, so around the time I started tutoring, going to the movie theater was really fun and still quite affordable. I would go in the morning with a pack of sandwiches or something and stay there for hours. Back then, theaters would show 2 films for the price of 1. And you could also stay as long as you wanted.
That's a great deal.
It was basically an all-day English immersion session for me. I don't know how many times I watched Footloose. I fell in love with Kevin Bacon. It was kind of an eye-opener too, to see how high school kids talked and did things. So different from how we were, naturally. Flashdance, of course. Out of Africa. Ah, that was a beautiful film to watch in the theater. All those flamingos covering the whole screen. And there were also St. Elmo's Fire. Love the soundtrack too. Stand By Me. Stranger Than Paradise. Back to the Future, and many more. From each film, I had collected some words and short phrases by the time I left the theater. I didn't have to try to remember them. They just stayed in my head with all the bits of images from the scenes that came with them. Maybe it's the booming audio or the massive screen. But those lines just enter your brain and stay there. Magic, don't you think? After all these years, I still remember some lines like, "Oh, honey, he's teasing you. Nobody has 2 television sets." That was from Back to the Future 1. And I remember thinking, it's nobody has, not nobody have. Then came the era of video rentals. I started watching more films at home, again and again, before returning them. I still kept going to the theaters too. I loved catching new releases at the cinema while watching the old ones on video at home. And gradually, I started paying more attention to the lines, and they really started to stick in my head. If you ever see me saying something that's rather dramatic today, I'm probably just copying some lines from them. Reading. Even after watching hundreds of films, there was still something missing. And I was missing them for years. Then, what finally connected all the dots and took my English to the next level was reading. Now, when I say this, people often go, "Nah, I can't read English paperbacks. I'd give up before I finish the first page."
Seriously, I don't think I can.
Yes, I know that feeling. I've been there. But the way I did it might encourage you to give it a try. I only read what I could understand without checking every single word that I didn't know. At the beginning, I skipped so much and just read what I understood. And when I started reading that way, it brought me to a totally different world of the English language I had never known. Seriously, if you really want to actually speak well, reading is one of the fastest ways. I feel you might be missing out by not giving reading a chance. It's not that hard when you know there's an easy way to do it. Let me say this again. You don't need to understand everything before turning the page. Read what you can, what you already know, and learn more from it. Don't aim for perfection. Give yourself permission to just move on without understanding everything.
Okay, I think I might give it a try.
Trust me, reading may sound like a detour when your goal is speaking, but it's incredibly powerful. If you give it a try with the right book for you, I'm sure you'll find how much you already know to begin with. Now, I can't find you students to teach English to. I can't write novels for you to read. I certainly cannot make movies for you. But music, that I can do these days. I've always loved writing poems and lyrics since I was a kid. And now with AI technology, I can turn them into songs. English songs you can listen to. Songs you can sing along with. Songs you can learn the language from. I talked more about that in this video. If you are interested in finding out more about how music helped me in my English learning journey. And this learning English with music is the main concept of this channel. The words and the grammar structures in my songs are specifically intended for learning the language. And it's the method that helped me more than anything. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm Swing, your English music mama. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye. Keep learning. Keep going. Please don't give up. Keep learning.